Dante, find the truth. I can't just walk up to a contractor and ask for his spit, Serafina hissed. Watch me, Jade said. She marched over to Rocco. Hey, handsome. We're doing a health and wellness check for the salon's insurance. Open wide. Before Rocco could protest, Jade had swiped the inside of his cheek. She tossed the swab to Serafina like a hot potato. Now you just need Dante's. Do it while he's snoring. Chapter 5. The Peaches Incident. The Sterling household was plunged into a new crisis when Serafina found a hand-rolled cigarette in the hallway outside Leo's room. She didn't just fly off the handle. She launched into orbit. A joint! My son is a drug kingpin, she screamed as Dante walked through the door. He's going to turn into my Uncle Harold. They call him Peaches now because he's got no teeth and lives on a street corner scratching himself. Serafina, calm down, Dante said, though he looked worried. It's one joint. Maybe it's not his. It was in front of his room. He's going to be doing heroin by Friday. He'll be selling his braces for a rock. They called Leo down for an intervention. Dante tried to be the cool dad, while Serafina looked like she was ready to call a SWAT team. Leo, Dante said, we found something. Is this yours? Leo looked at the joint, and then at his parents. That? No. I don't even know what that is. Is that a tiny burrito? Don't lie to me, Peaches, Serafina wailed. We know the truth. You're flying high as a kite. Mom, I got an A on my math test. I'm high on academic success. That's not mine. I'm stoful, not to be. I'm stokto, not to be. Go to your room. Serafina pointed upstairs. You're grounded until you're 30. As Leo stomped upstairs, Mama G walked in, looking unusually tired. She sat at the kitchen table and sighed. Miss V, Mama G, you okay? Dante asked. I'm fine, she said. But y'all need to stop yelling at that boy. That burrito belongs to me. The room went silent. You? Serafina gasped. You're a Peaches? I'm sick, Serafina, Mama G said quietly. I've been going through chemotherapy. I didn't want to tell y'all and make a fuss. The marijuana. It helps with the nausea. The doctor prescribed it. The anger in the room evaporated, replaced by a heavy, humbling guilt. Dante hugged his mother, and Serafina burst into tears, apologizing for her theatrics. I'm fine, Mama G insisted. But that boy didn't do nothing. And for the record, my joints are way bigger than that little twig you found. Chapter 6. The Clydesdale Dream. While the Sterlings were dealing with health scares and paternity panics, their friends Julian and Lulu were having a crisis of a different kind. The proposal. Julian had been carrying a ring around for 3 weeks. He had finally decided to pop the question during a dinner party at Dante's house. However, Lulu had caught wind of it and was currently having a nervous breakdown in the salon's break room. I don't know if I want to be married, Lulu cried to Jade. What if he wants me to cook? What if he wants me to share my closet? He's rich, he's handsome, and he worships the ground you walk on, Jade said, filing her nails. Stop being a drama queen. You already live together. But marriage is different. It's final. It's legal. At the dinner party that night, Julian finally got down on one knee. The room went silent. Dante, Serafina, Xavier, and Kiki all leaned in, phones out to record the moment. Lulu, Julian began, his voice trembling. I can't imagine my life without you. Will you? Stop, Lulu shouted. Are there Clydesdales? Julian blinked. What? I have a vision. Lulu stood up, her eyes wide. I want to be married in Venice. I want a church with 500 guests. I want 20 bridesmaids in gold silk. I want to ride in on a carriage pulled by 22 white Clydesdales. And when I arrive, I want 5,000 doves released simultaneously, and then boom, I emerge from a puff of white smoke. Lulu, Julian said, still on one knee. We're in a living room in Georgia. Can we just start with the yes? No yes, without the puff of smoke, Julian. She stormed out, leaving Julian holding a $50,000 ring and looking at a very confused room. Chapter 7. The Truth and the Trick. The DNA results came back. Serafina sat in her office at the salon, her hands shaking as she opened the digital file on her phone. She looked at the numbers. Leo was Dantes. Son. 100%. The similarities with Rocco were just a bizarre, cruel trick of nature. The poor circulation and the asthma were just common traits that Rocco had used to flirt with her. She let out a sob of relief. But then she realized she still had a problem. Dante knew she had lied about the Bianca Thorne investigation. She decided to confess everything: the Thorne visit, the Rocco scare, the DNA test. But Dante, having been tipped off by Xavier, decided to play a game of his own. When Serafina got home, the house was filled with candles. Dante was waiting with a bottle of wine. "Babe," he said, his voice serious. "I have something to tell you. I lied." Serafina froze. "What?" "I did sleep with Bianca Thorne. And the kid is mine." The DNA test came back today. Serafina's jaw dropped. "I paid her to lie to you," Dante shouted, his face reddening. "And now we have to figure out how to bring the baby into this house." You bastard." Serafina grabbed a vase. "I trusted you. I burned my soul for you." Wait! Dante yelled, ducking behind the sofa. I'm kidding. He held up the letter from Bianca Thorne. "I know you went to her house, Serafina. You lied to me about trusting me. So, I thought I'd see how it felt." Serafina stopped, the vase still raised. She slowly lowered it. You jerk. "We're even," Dante said, walking over to her. "You didn't trust me, and I tricked you. Can we just be honest now? No more Bianca Thorne? No more secret visits?" Serafina sighed, leaning into him. "And no more Rocco." "Who's Rocco?" Dante asked, his eyes narrowing. "The contractor," Serafina said quickly. He has a very loud hammer. It's annoying." "Yeah," Dante said, kissing her forehead. "Annoying." Epilogue. The perpetual cycle. A week later, the salon expansion was finished. Rocco had moved on to a new project, much to Jade's disappointment. And Julian had finally convinced Lulu to settle for 2 Clydesdales and a very expensive smoke machine. At the Sterling house, things had returned to their chaotic normal. Leo sat in the kitchen, listening to the ceiling. "I hear it," Leo said to Mama G. "What you hear, boy?" "The Barry White and the hing. Mama G smiled, adjusted her church hat, and took a sip of her medicinal tea. "Well then, I guess the walls are just fine the way they are." Dante and Serafina descended the stairs, smiling, radiant, and for the moment perfectly in sync. "Morning, family," Dante beamed. "Who's ready for breakfast?" "I am," Leo said, "but only if we eat it in silence. My ears need a vacation." And in the Sterling household, silence was the only thing they couldn't afford. The Weekend. The Emerald. Quarter Chaos. A novel of love, lies, and luxury hair care. Bigamini. Chapter 1. The Sound of Jerry Gray. The walls of the Montgomery mansion in the Emerald Quarter were not built for privacy. They were built for aesthetics: Italian marble, silk-threaded wallpaper, and high-tensile glass that let in the sunrise but couldn't block out the deep, resonant baritone of a legendary soul singer. Milo Montgomery, a 13-year-old with the ears of a bat and the cynicism of a retired detective, sat at the breakfast island, methodically drowning his cereal in almond milk. From the floor above, the vibrations of Jerry Gray. The man with the voice like velvet-covered thunder rumbled through the ceiling. "I love you, baby. I need you, baby." Milo winced. His father, Malcolm, the Mouth Montgomery, the city's top-rated sports radio personality, was clearly in reconciliation mode. Malcolm descended the stairs 5 minutes later, wearing a silk robe and a grin that was far too wide for 7:30 a.m. He looked like a man who had just won the Super Bowl, the World Series, and a lifetime supply of ribs. "How was your night, son?" Malcolm asked, reaching for the orange juice. Loud, Milo deadpan. "Did you and Mom finally sign the peace treaty? Or was that just a tactical ceasefire involving a Jerry Gray playlist.